Hello and good afternoon. This is Ronald Bird with Style Speaks coming to you from downtown DC, from the John A. Wilson building, just blocks away from the White House. I have a special guest with me today who has agreed to take some time out of his busy schedule to talk to me, and his name is Councilman Jim Graham. Jim Graham, thanks for talking to me.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely, absolutely. It started out a beautiful day after the snow and all that we had yesterday, but it's kind of getting a little cloudy, a little dark right now, so I'm glad we're actually
It's a good day if I'm with you.
We like them already. We like them already. Tell us, Mr. Graham, where are you from?
Originally?
Yes.
I'm an immigrant, and I was born in Scotland. And I came here when I was a little boy to a place called Hyattsville. Have you heard of Hyattsville?
Absolutely. I used to live in Hyattsville.
That's where we settled, and we were there for a year and a half. I went to University Park Elementary School, and then because my father couldn't find work in this area, we moved to Detroit. We always said Detroit.
Detroit instead of Detroit.
Yeah,
okay.
Detroit.
Okay.
Is the way we pronounce it.
Okay, okay. Well, how long have you been in the Washington metropolitan area?
Without interruption since 1972.
Okay, that's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
40 plus years.
40 plus. Well, we don't really want to tell our ages or anything
Why not?
like that. But, well, you don't have
I know so many people who, when I was very active in the HIV epidemic, who would be very happy to be our ages today.
Absolutely. Oh.
Very, very happy, but they're not around to be our ages.
Absolutely. So true.
So no, every time I think of age, I think of them and how quickly they were taken from us.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. Well, tell me let's get into the reason why I decided to talk to you today. I just wanted to let you know that I paid homage to you today by wearing a bow tie.
Yes, and perfectly tied.
My first time actually
tied
my own bow. So it took me 30 minutes and I'm breaking out into a sweat trying to get it right.
It looks great.
But I wanted to do that in your honor.
Thank you.
But as far as style and fashion, what style would you consider yourself? How do you gauge your look?
It's a funny thing about bow ties. Because you can wear a bow tie and become stylish immediately with doing nothing else.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
And it's this little strand of cloth, and so many people think I'm stylish because I have this little strand of cloth around my neck. No, and I'm not.
No,
obviously I'm not. I have a white shirt. This is like a bus driver's outfit. This is a uniform that I wear every day. So I'm not a good person to talk to style about, at least not style and clothing and fashion, because I don't know very much about it except that I know how to tie a bow tie.
Well, I mean, it's not just being able to tie a bow tie. Well, actually growing up, where do you get your... I guess, how did the whole bow tie thing come to? I didn't want to make this specifically or totally about the bow tie, but you have a personal, everybody has their own individual style. And I think you have a personal style, and I know professionally you have to look a certain way, and you've kind of made this bow tie your own, but where do you get your sense of style from, or your lack of, if you want?
I think it's probably a lack of is more accurate, but I think where it comes from is a Midwestern kind of vaguely Ivy League professorial look. And, I like very much to be in a sport coat and khakis.
Okay. And
if the khakis are frayed at the bottom, all the better. All the better. And, and that's something, I was on the faculty of the University of Wisconsin, and I went to law school in Ann Arbor, University of Michigan, and I was on the faculty at Georgetown. And I think all of that kind of influenced me as to the way you look. So it's a kind of a frumpy disregard for style. It's an anti-style. Okay. If you look at these guys and how many of them dress.
So would you classify it as, well, I kind of don't, I shouldn't say hate, I kind of don't like the word conservative, but that whole collegiate, you mentioned the university. I mean, did you kind of want to...
It's not conservative. It's not conservative.
Okay, good.
Because, the University of Wisconsin and the University of Michigan are not conservative places. It's not conservative. It's just kind of a disregard of style that is a kind of a determined effort. It's tutored so that you look like you've just come in and you're ready to teach class, and nobody cares about style, students, teacher, and professor and all that. I think if you press me, as you have so skillfully, that's where I would say most of what I like to wear comes from. those years on faculties.
Interesting. Well, if someone were to ask you, like I'm asking you now, in one word, how would you classify your look?
Bow tie.
This is really all about the bow tie. This is really all about the bow tie.
It's all about the bow tie. Anyone who regularly wears bow ties will tell you that's all they have to do. And they become stylish and smart, and people are attracted to them depending on the bow tie, of course.
Okay.
Now,
it does
I don't want to inject controversy into this interview, but there was a mayor of the District of Columbia who his bow ties were quite uninteresting. His bow ties. And I love him. I love him. Yeah. And he was a great mayor.
Yeah, he was.
But I often told him that, Tony, I said, you got to do something about these bow ties. Because they're the bow ties of a bookkeeper.
Okay.
And you don't want bow ties of a bookkeeper. Now look at your tie. Your tie is kind of faux Scottish plaid, That plaid is very much in it today in neckwear. And my tie today is pink. Now, Tony Williams would never wear this tie.
He wouldn't wear a pink tie?
Never wear this tie. But with a simple, I know you don't mean this because you want to talk about shoes and you want to talk about other things, but I tell you, the bow tie, it transforms people.
Well, you made it interesting, and I'm not going to...
And if you're black, of course, we're over that Nation of Islam.
Right, exactly, absolutely.
It used to be, I can remember in the 90s, if you're a black man and you wore a bow tie, there were all sorts of comments in that line, but that's all gone.
Yeah, it's definitely all gone.
It's 100% gone. And of course, they never tie their bow ties.
Okay, they were already.
Yes, and I know Minister Farrakhan, and I've met him. I have his autograph, but he explained to me once that they never tie the bow ties. They're all clip-on.
Oh, okay. So
as its own matter of style.
Oh, okay.
You see, that's an issue of style.
Okay.
They don't want a tied bow tie.
Okay. Well, you said something that's a little controversial because you said the bow tie. Because my next question was how important style and fashion is to you, and you kind of downplayed it in the beginning. But you also made a comment about the fact that when you put on a bow tie, you are automatically deemed stylish. So obviously, there's something about you who wants to present a good look, or there's something inside of you to say, I look good. So
there's something inside of me that wants to be distinctive. Like if you had your current outfit, your beautiful suit, your lovely jewelry, and your nice shirt and everything, if you had everything, and your beautiful eyeglasses.
Thank you.
Kudos. If you had everything you're wearing right now with a long tie, you would not have the same appearance.
I agree with that.
It would be like a night and day difference, and that's why I think it's so remarkable. The little I've thought about this, but whenever I think about it, the transforming nature of this bow tie has transformed your outfit.
Wow.
In a very positive way.
Right.
And I think most people would say.
Absolutely. And I kind of agree with you as I sit here in the boat.
The glasses help immensely.
Well, thank you so much.
The glasses are, carry this to a different height altogether. They do.
Thank you.
You haven't seen my new glasses. You should have waited for my new glasses.
Oh, you got some on order?
Very hard to find.
Yeah.
They're amber orange.
Tortoiseshell?
No. Those are very easy to find. Not like yours, but amber orange. Those this color, but darker, and the arms are also the same.
More redder, more
orangey.
Yeah. Because those are more kind of
They're definitely cool. Come back and we'll redo this interview.
Oh,
when I have my new glasses, because everyone will like it.
Hit me up. Okay,
right,
so
go ahead. Are we done?
No, one more question.
Okay,
well, two more. Finally, next to the last question, I guess what I wanted to say, I wanted to kind of bring attention to. I know you're doing some great work in the city. I live in your ward, and I'm a really big fan of yours. I really am.
Democrat.
And I am a Democrat, definitely, and I know a lot. And
is Michael a Democrat too?
He had better be, but we haven't really had that discussion. I try to keep it, professional. So his views. So
what a shame. Silly you.
Okay. Anyway, but you going back to the comment you made about the whole bow tie. As I sit here in a bow tie, yes. I actually get what you're saying because people do look at you a little differently. And I must say, when I see especially a black man in a bow tie.
Sharp.
It
Sharp,
does make
sharp,
a whole
sharp.
different effect.
Sharp,
on-
sharp, sharp.
Absolutely, but it draws it. But it's at the same time it does draw attention, a certain amount of attention. So a part of your and I'm going kind of deep. A part of your personality kind of likes the attention, the fact that you get the looks or you get the kind of the
Well, and you also like the fact that it's so easy to become stylish.
Okay.
With this little piece of cloth around your neck. It's a very interesting. I don't think enough has been said about the bow tie.
Okay.
You have an opportunity to say a great deal about
Well,
it.
I think we just did because I think we just turned this interview into
Let's get Michael into it. Let's get Michael into a bow tie.
To the bow tie. We're working
Big,
on Michael.
fluffy. What?
We're working on Michael. We're working on Michael.
Oh.
But anyway, so my final question
Yes,
is
yes.
how I present myself and how I see the city in your overall perspective or your overall outlook,
Yes.
if you will, on DC as a whole, as being a fashionably conscious place to be. How do you
Yes?
Mr. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Dave needs to ask you a question.
Just one second. Hold on one second. Yes, I'm being interviewed. That's good. Excellent.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, that's good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I might tinker a bit, but it's definitely got the feel. That I like.
Yes, little caffeine goes a long way.
Good work. I'm back now.
Okay, good to have you
I hate
back.
this sitting on this couch.
Do you really? Well, we just got two more seconds, Mr.
All
Graham.
right,
Two more seconds.
I never sit on this couch.
Yes, okay, we got 2 more
It's
seconds.
so
And I'm
uncomfortable.
gonna let you go. So I guess my final question is your overall outlook on the city and the scope of being a fashionably conscious place to be, and what do you notice when you walk the streets of DC?
Well, I've been here long enough now, 40 years, to remember, and I was also here in the late 60s for a year or so. This was a sleepy southern town. It was a sleepy southern town, in my experience of it, that had a substantial black population, probably a majority by the time I came, or a super majority by the time I came. And so from the black population, you had a lot of life. But otherwise, it was a very southern, very conservative kind of place. The excitement was to be found among African Americans, in my experience
Right.
of the town. Everybody else was almost Republican
Okay.
in style. So in the time I've been here, this is all transformed. And so today you see more and more of very clever appearances. You see more and more of people not wearing ties at all, bow ties, long ties, no ties. And I have a number of meetings in a given week where people come in very casually dressed from major law firms and so forth and so on. That shows a kind of a loosening up that I think is conducive to fashion and creativity.
Okay.
Now, we're not Manhattan,
Oh, absolutely.
and we surely are not Los Angeles or
Okay,
San
that's another
Francisco.
concept. Okay.
But we're getting there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I think I'm gonna end on that. And on that note, Mr. Graham, thank you for taking my time and taking
I'm
your
glad
time.
to take your time.
And
Is
that's
that
gonna,
Liberace's?
and that's gonna be it for Style Speaks. Thank you very much. All right.